as I say, as I said last week that we will learn slowly, step by step, until you all know and can do all the calculation in this material. Okay.
Okay.
I will. Okay, I will refresh the topic last week that we have population here. Then from the population, we choose some objects from the population as a sample population. And the procedure of doing this step called sampling method. And from the sample, we can collect some data, basically quantitative data, and use statistics to organizing, summarizing, and interpreting data. And in this arrow, from the sample to population, this is the process to conclude the population by using the sample data. It is called the inference. I think you all have already get your data, and then you will calculate with material today. For example, we have a population consists of all students at Diponegoro University. I think the number of students at Undip is more than maybe 50,000 students. And from the population, maybe we concern about some variables, maybe the student name, student ID, student level, and final test score for statistic tests, maybe, and maybe variables of GPA. Then randomly pick just 100 students as the sample of the research. Yeah, from the population consists of more than 50,000 students. We pick randomly 100 students as the sample, and then we record each the data for each student. Then we will get 100 students data. Then we can provide the data with the table here. Maybe I said that the first student name Chacha with the student ID maybe J2020100902, and Chacha is a second year student, and she has a 98 score for her statistics course at the final test. And the GPA, and her GPA is 3.94. And then we record the second student Vira, the third Fula, and so on, until we record the 100 student Alia with her student ID, level, the final test score, and her GPA. I think you all don't have any difficulties with the data and the simple table. Okay, And I think you all know how to collect the data and provide your data to be table like this. When we have a huge number of data, we have to manage and organize and visualize the data as simply as possible. So everybody who reads the data is helpful and easy to understand. Some people are confused to read a large number of data. Then we have to provide it interestingly. And one way to do it is by summarizing the data and providing some important information. The important information if when we focus on the final test score, maybe we can provide the mean or average of the score or the minimum score of this group, or another information that we can provide to the readers. Okay, before we do visualizing or another, we have to learn about data management, which is defined as the process of ingesting, storing, organizing, and maintaining the data created and collected by an organization. The data management process includes a combination of different functions that collectively aim to make sure that the data is corporate system is accurate, available, and accessible. And the definition of visualization is the representation of data through use of common graphics such as charts, plots, infographic, and even animation. These visual displays of information communicate complex data, relationship, and data-driven insight in a way that is easy to understand. Data visualization brings data to life as the master storyteller of the insight hidden within the numbers. To make or to process data management and visualization, I think you all familiar with Excel. The simple software to produce table and graph and chart or another is using Excel. I think we can learn or we can try to do some calculation with Excel, and of course we have to try with Jamovie. Some types of data visualization. The first one is tables. Consists of frequency distribution, relative frequency distribution, cumulative distribution, and etc. And the second is graphics. I think you all familiar too with some type of graphics, pie charts and stock bar charts, line graph, area charts, scatter plot, histogram, and etc. Heat maps, tree maps, and others. Okay, I think we can learn first with tables. The simple tables that we can produce from to provide that data interestingly is a frequency distribution. Frequency distribution is an organized tabulation of the number of individuals located in each category on the scale of measurement. A frequency distribution takes a disorganized set of scores and places them in order from highest to lowest, or from lowest to highest, grouping together individuals who all have the same score. Okay, the frequency distribution element, the first is the set of categories that make up the original measurement scale, and the second, a record of the frequency or number of individuals in each category. Frequency distribution can be structured either as a table or as a graph. But the first we have to, we can try with a table first. Let's try with simple data. Well, I have in example 1, the score of mathematics from 20 students. The first student have 8 on the mathematics test. The second student got 9. The third got 8, and so on. And now how to organize it? Rather than we see with the large of data, we have to organize to present the data with this distribution of frequency or frequency distribution. Let's check the minimum of the scores. I think scores of the minimum score is 4, and the largest or maximum score is 10. Then we have to place all the scores in each rows. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can start with 0, 1, 2, 3, but I think it's not useful for this frequency distribution. But you okay, Hen?
Yes, Ibu, I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm trying to focus. Actually, I was looking at the schedule, the table, and I just don't understand why 4 has the frequency 1 and 5 has the frequency 0.
Okay. Okay, I will tell you. You see, the minimum score is 4. There is no other 4 in this row, in this list of scores. Then we can say that the frequency of score 4 is just one student. Or we can say that just one student got 4 at the mathematics test. You know, you got this point, Hen?
So it means that since we don't have any students that got 5, so
okay,
we have
yes.
frequency of 0. Yes.
Yes, of course.
Got it. Thank you.
It's right, yes. Just 2 students got 6 at the mathematics test. And this row has the same meaning. And the last one, we got 2 students have perfect scores at scores 10. We have to check, yeah, when you produce from this series to tables, you have to check the number, the calculation of first row until the last row should have 20. Should have equal to the number of data. Okay. Nah, This is called frequency distribution. The second table called cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency is defined as a running total of frequencies. The first column and the second column is just like the I said before, and we have to add a column at the right of the table for cumulative frequency. And you can see, you have to see that in the first row, the student who got scores 4, just one student, and we say that only one student got less than or equal to 4. You can write at this cell. Okay, move to row 2. In the row 2, you have score 5, frequency 0, and cumulative frequency 1. 1 in this cell come from 1 plus 0. Or we can say that just one student have a score test less than or equal to 5. Okay, can you understand me?
Yes. So cumulative frequency, it means that it's not necessarily means that that student got that score. It means that that score or less than that score, right?
Yeah, less than or equal.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
At the row of score 6, the frequency is 2. The cumulative frequency is 3. This cell 3 is come from 1 plus 2. Or we can say that 3 students have got score test less than 6, less than or equal to 6. And all these rows after this third rows is the same meaning. Can you know the difference between frequency distribution and cumulative frequency?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah?
may I ask a question? Ma'am,
Okay.
If there we can see in row 3 that we reduce the collimative frequency from frequency, there is 2 and it becomes 3. So the case is different when we look at the 9 and there's the frequency 5 and the collimative frequency becomes 18. How?
I'm very sorry. I can't hear your voice. Is maybe my connection is bad. Can you repeat your question?
Ma'am, is it clear
Yeah.
now?
Okay.
Ma'am,
It's clear.
yeah, ma'am. I was asking about the frequency and collimative frequency, and that how both becomes different. Uh, I'm not getting this one, that how it becomes it reduces and goes high.
Sarfaraz, can you repeat the question?
May I write in the chat box?
My connection. Okay, in the chat box. I got to
can I ask something till Faraz writes? Can I ask something?
Oh, I'm very sorry. My I have bad connection.
The first row. Yeah, okay.
What hand?
Yes, yes.
Stella,
Okay, I just wanted to ask about the first row. Is it related to the second row? I mean, because the score, the least score was 4. Then there was only one student scoring that score. Then the second row, there is 0 students scoring that row. So in the second row, we have the frequency, the cumulative frequency 1. Is it related to the first row, the previous row?
Okay. Okay. We. I think we have to back to frequency distribution because Sarfaraz unable to know the difference between the frequency and the cumulative frequency.
Yes.
Let's see the scores of 20 students. You collect the papers of the mathematics test, and you write that the first student got 8 and so on. You write all student and the last student got 8. Total student is 20. Okay, then you will present the series of the data to be the frequency distribution. Maybe I will do with the PowerPoint. You can start with look at this table. You can start with 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then you can use tally to help to count the data. The first scores 8. You write the notation here 8. The second student got 9. You got write down the tally here. The third student got 8. I'm sorry. Got 8. The following student 7, 10, 9, 4, 6, 4, 9, 8, 7, 8, 10, 9, 8, 6, 9, 7, 8, 8. Okay. 7. Oh, the 7 is. Then you can the frequency of each scores. You can write at the last column. No one got score 0. No one got score 1. No one. Very sorry. No one got score 2. No one got score 3. Just one student got scores 4. No one got score 5, and so on. 2 students got 6. 3 students got 7. 7 students got 8. 5 students got 9, and 2 students got 10. Perfect score. With this table, can you understand the distribution of frequency distribution?
Yes, very clear for me.
Okay, Sarfaraz, do you understand with the frequency distribution before we move to cumulative distribution? Sarfaraz? Okay, I hope Sarfaraz have know enough to know this frequency distribution. Okay, then we move to cumulative frequency. Because of score 1, 2, 3, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3 has no, I'm sorry, this is 0, has no student here, we can delete the rows and start from 4. Okay, then I write at this slide before with start at 4. Then the cumulative frequency, you can, I will tell you where is come from of the number. Score 4, frequency 1, then we can say that one student got less and or equal to 4 score. Okay, the second row, just one student have score less than or equal to 5. The number of 1 in this row come from 1 at for row plus 0 as the frequency of 5. Okay, and the at rows at score 6, 3 come from 1 here plus plus 2, the frequency of 6. Or we can say that 3 students got less than or equal to 6. And we can calculate the rest of rows. 6 come from 3 plus 3. 13 come from 6 plus 7. 18 come from 13 plus 5. And the last one, 20 come from 8 plus 2.
Yes.
Okay, Hen?
Yes, very clear. Thank you.
Okay, then you have checked that the last one should have a number equal to the number of the data. The number of the data is 20, then you have to get 20 in the last row for cumulative frequency. Because all the students have been write down here, and of course at the last row there are 20 students got a less than or equal to 10, because 10 is the maximum of the score. You got it, Hen?
Yes, I got it, Ivo. I got it. Thank you so much.
You know the difference between frequency distribution and cumulative frequency?
Yes, now I can tell the difference.
Okay. Sarfaraz? Okay, maybe Sarfaraz will ask Hen, yeah? Of course, Hen. You can.
Okay.
Sarfaraz will ask you later, or ask me, of course.
Okay.
Okay. The cumulative frequencies. When you use Excel, maybe I want to tell you how the simple way to produce these scores. I will try with Excel. And copy and paste here. You can write the title or the frequency and the cumulative. The first row is you can use the formula that the first row, the cumulative is the same or equal to the frequency at the first row. And the second row, the cumulative plus frequency, for cumulative of first row plus frequency of the second row. The third is cumulative of second row plus frequency of the third row. And you can copy to another cell. You got the cumulative frequency easily. You can try this as an exercise at home. Okay, I back to this slides. Now we can calculate the proportion and percentage from the data, the frequency of distribution. Proportion measures the fraction of the total group that is associated with each course. With the formula P equal to F divided by N. P is a proportion, F is a frequency, and N is the number of the data. And the second definition, percentage, is another way of expressing a proportion. A percentage, percent, is simply a proportion times 100. or percentage that is a notation by P100 equal to F divided by N times 100. Okay, P as a proportion, P100 as a percentage, F frequency, N is the number of the data. Then from the table of cumulative frequency or the frequency distribution, we can produce a proportion and percentage. Okay, the column of 1, 2, 3 is the same as before. The proportion is calculated by the formula before. Proportion of the first row is come from frequency F divided by N. 1 divided by 20 is 0.05. Or we can say the percentage is proportion times 100, or we write it at with 5%. In the second row, the proportion of score 5 is the frequency 0 divided by N. 0 divided by 20 equal to 0. And the percentage is 0 times 100 is 0%. The third, for score 6, the proportion is frequency divided by N. The frequency is 2 and is 20, then the proportion is 2 divided by 20 equal to 1.10, or the percentage is 1.10 times 100 is 10%. And I think the other rows is the same calculation. And you have to check the cumulative of frequency should be equal to the number of the data. The total proportion should equal to 1, because proportion is the sum of all proportion is equal to 1, and the percentage should have the total percentage should have a number of 100%. Okay, any question?
No, thank you.
Then for proportion in Excel, you can use this formula. You can sum the frequency with the formula in Excel. I think we can block and click the notation of summarize sum. It's 20. Then the proportion should be the frequency divided by the number of the data. Then you can cut the proportion. For score 1 is 0.05. The percentage will be percentage. I'm sorry. Should be proportion times 100. Then you can copy this formula to all these Oh, I think it should got to the key. Okay, and the percentage should be copy at the rest of a cell. You got this. It is simple calculation with Excel. You can try this exercise at home. Okay. It is a very easy calculation, but maybe you are not familiar with large of data, then we try to learn slowly. The third table to present a series of data is group or relative frequency distribution. When a set of data covers a wide range of values, it is unreasonable to list all the individual scores in a frequency distribution table. Consider, for example, a set of exam scores that range from a low of 8 equal to 41 to a high of X is 96. These scores cover a range of more than 50 points. When you when you present this series the data with frequency distribution, like I said before, I think we have to produce a very large row, at least 50 rows to produce from 41 until 96. Then you can use group or relative frequency distribution. This can be accomplished by grouping the scores into intervals and then listing the intervals in the table instead of listing its individual scores. Let's see how it works. If I have another data of score test with this data, the first student got 82, the second student got 71.5, the third got 88, and so on. The number of the data is 25, and how to organize it? We can use interval at each row. Okay. How to do the present the interval and the number of class of the table. It is depend on the researchers. Okay, you maybe hand will start with 50 until 55. Then the second row is 56 until maybe 60 and so on. Or maybe Sarfraz will start with 45 and so on. So this is how to construct this table depend on the researchers, but there are some rules, of course, to simple the calculation how much interval that we can produce, how much class that we can use. I will tell you later. When I choose to use interval from 60 to 64, 50 to 54, 55 to 59, second class is 60 to 64, and so on. Then we can count all the frequencies of each interval. The scores that have that lays at interval 50 to 54 just 1. You can see that just 3, and there are no other students got scores in the interval 60 to 64. Then we write down here number with 1 in these cells. Okay. The second row or the second interval is 55 to 59. Then we can look for the scores with include in this interval, and we got 68, 58, and another scores in this interval unless 58. Then we can write down here 1. At the third, we have 3 students who got scores at this interval. 61, 64, and 60. 3 students got scores in this interval. Okay, you can calculate and you can produce a table like this. And don't be forget to check the total number should be equal to the number of data. Okay. Then I will tell you about the guideline to produce formally a group frequency table. The formula of number of class is 1 plus 3.322 logarithm n. N is the number of data. Yeah, the group frequency distribution table should have about 5 until 15 class interval. With the Sturges rules, we got the formula with this formula. And the width of each interval can be counted by maximum value minus minimum value plus 1 divided by the number of class. Let's see how it works. Number of data named by n is 25. The number of class with the formula is 1 plus 3.322 logarithm n. You can replace n with a 25. Then you can count how much logarithm 25. It is equal to 1.3979. Then you have to calculate 3.322 times 1.3979. This calculation equal to 4.6438. And the last step, we have to count 1 plus 4.6438. It's equal to 5. 0.643x or similar with 6. Okay, and the width of interval class using this formula, maximum value minus minimum value plus 1 divided by number of class. The maximum value is 94. The minimum value is 53 plus 1 divided by the number of class. The number of class is 6. Then we count step by step. 94 minus 53 is 41 plus 1 divided by n equal to 42 divided by n equal to 7. Then we can produce the formally the table using this new calculation. The number of class is 6, the width of interval class is 7. So we can produce or present the frequency distribution with a relative frequency distribution with this new interval. This is the minimum value, 53. This is the maximum value, 94. And you can you have to make this interval with 7. You can count 53, 55, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. There is a 7 value in this interval. The tally produced the frequency to help easily count frequency. We have a 2 in this interval. Then the second interval we have 3 scores. The third interval we have 4 scores and so on. And don't forget to check that the last one, the total number of frequency should be the same or equal to the number of the data. Okay, I stop here first. Then you can ask me if you need more.
You're gonna ask something?
Okay.
Okay, just want to ask maybe the last part about group frequency. I didn't really get it very well, but I just want to ask, for example, we said that from the grade 53 to 59 in the first row, the number of students are 2.
Yeah.
Right? So why did we make 53 to 59? Why, for example, we didn't say from 53 to 63, the number of students, for example, are 5, depending on the number of students. I mean, what defines that we made it from 53 till 59?
You have different interval.
Yes. I mean, why is it 53 to 59?
Oh, yeah. For the calculation before, okay. For the calculation before in this slide, the number of class is 6 and the width of the interval class is 7. Okay. Then we have to write down the word 63 is the minimum value of the data. You can see at the data that the minimum value of this group of data is 53 and the maximum value of the data is 94. Okay, you got this?
Yes.
Okay, and you write down the 33 and you can count 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. 7 scores in this interval. This is the width of the interval. You got this?
Does it have a calculation? I mean, it should be calculated to know.
It is. This is the calculation of the width of the interval class. Hand. Width of interval class with using this formula.
Okay. By number of data, we mean the number of students. By width of interval class, we mean the maximum grade minus the minimum grade plus 1 divided by number of students, right? Number of
class. No, not number of students. Number of class. Number of class is 6.
What do you mean by number of class?
Number of class is this. This is the number of class. Jumlah. Number of class is ini 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we have count before that the number of class with this formula produce 6. Then the number of class to calculate width of interval class should be 6.
Oh yes, so it depends on calculation that we should memorize it. I mean, like.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Is there another question?
No, I think not any. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Very clear.
Okay. I think I have more material here, but maybe we learn it next week. I want to tell you about the Jamovie, how to download the Jamovie. Hank, do you have the Jamovie?
Oh, I didn't download it yet.
Yeah?
I didn't download it yet.
Oh,
but inshallah, I'm going to download it. Yes.
Yeah, it's no problem. You can use this link to download the Jamovie Master. When you, I will show you. You can use this version or this version, but I think it is most recommended for all users. You can click this link and you have to wait until the downloaded file is finished. Then you click the Jamovie Master. After it downloaded to your computer, you have to click the Jamovie Master. This is the Jamovie Master. Double click. Then you have to follow the procedure.
Yes.
But my Jamovie is already installed.
Yes.
You follow this procedure. It is very simple. Just next and finish. Then you
open it.
Got this Jamovie software like this. I will show you how to do or calculate the with Jamovie next week.
Inshallah.
Hello, ma'am. I was unable to scan.
Yeah.
I was unable to scan the code.
Okay,
I'm having an issue with my laptop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I will help you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. This is the Jamovie dashboard. Then, but we will use it next week. Okay, is there any question with this material today?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, ma'am.
Well, have a blessed Friday. It's already Friday.
Is there another question?
Ifonda, Miss. Ifonda would like to